You see, the Moroccan national soccer team has a problem. They're currently the most disliked team in soccer or football right now. Well, you see, during their match against Team Senegal, by the way, Team Morocco is in the white, Team Senegal is in the green. Okay, during their match against Team Senegal in the Africa Cup finals, Team Morocco started doing some strange things to win. And by strange, I mean really strange, because at one point, Team Morocco starts stealing Team Senegal's towels. This is Senegal's backup goalkeeper. Goalkeepers are the people who block the balls with their hands. Goalkeeper Diouf putting his life on the line for a towel, because towels are a lot more important than you may think, especially for goalkeepers who need to constantly dry their hands so the ball doesn't slip through their fingers. The Moroccan players know this, so it starts off light. A Moroccan player takes a Senegalese goalkeeper's towel and tosses it over the stands. The Senegalese goalkeeper, his name is Mendy, remember that name, sees this and he says, all right, that was weird. Let me just go over and get my towel. Gets his towel. Mendy goes back in the game doing his thing. He comes back to his goal and his towel is gone again. The Moroccan player said, don't look at us. We was out here in the game like you. So Senegal's backup goalkeeper, Diouf, gives Mendy a towel and says, look, I'm gonna keep an eye out for your towels next time. Diouf goes back in the cut. He peeking at the goal, trying to see who's taking Mendy's towels. The culprit strikes. A Moroccan ball keeper runs over, snatches the towel. Diouf says, hey. But to Diouf's surprise, the ball boy didn't care that he got caught. He looked at Diouf, he said, what? Diouf said, hey, jinna dafla best wala danga dof. Boy, give my towel. The ball boy said, I don't know what you said, but you ain't getting this towel. So Diouf goes over, start fighting the ball boy for the towel. The ball boy said, you shouldn't have done that. I don't know how to whistle. Other Moroccan ball boys start rushing over and it goes down. Them folk get to scrapping for that towel. But remember what I told you, Diouf's the backup goalkeeper. He not letting go of the prize. It gets to a point where they start dragging Diouf off the field, towel in hand. Diouf looking around, he said, where the officials at? The officials rush over. They said, what's the problem, Diouf? Diouf said, look. The official said, oh, well, everything could be solved if you just give us the towels. At one point, the official security, I don't know what this guy is, start trying to take the towels too. Look at Diouf's face. He's in shock. He said, hey, yo. They said, give us the towels. And peep the ball boy's face. This mean everything to him. He said, give us the towels. But Diouf ain't give him the towels. So anytime the main goalkeeper needed a towel, what Diouf would have to do was basically play one-on-one with the Moroccan player on the sidelines, try to juke him and rush over to the main goalkeeper, Mendy, so Mendy can dry his hands. So it may come as no surprise to you that on the field, questionable calls start going towards Morocco near the end and things start getting heated. So heated that Senegal's team walked off the field. But Senegal's superstar and one of the greatest soccer players of all time, Sadio Mane, commanded them to get back on the field. He said, calls this, calls that, Senegal in one. So Senegal gets back on the field. A Moroccan player shoots a penalty kick, which is kind of like a free throw, but he tries to do this sort of fancy penalty kick called a panenka so he can embarrass the Senegalese goalkeeper, but the Senegalese goalkeeper's hands were dry and he caught that ball. Senegal goes on to score a goal of their own and they win the tournament. And where it starts to get wicked is Morocco ended up winning the Fair Play Award, which pissed people off because they weren't only stealing Senegal's towels, they were stealing Nigeria's towels as well, who they played in the semi-final. So people didn't think they deserved this award. Although I think the Fair Play Award just technically means like you got the least amount of violations or something. Regardless, people didn't like the optics. And in the end, Morocco never explained why they were stealing players' towels. So aside from the goalkeeper drying their hands, people also believe that Morocco was trying to steal the towels because Morocco believed that Senegal and Nigeria were doing black magic with the towels. And people also think Morocco was stealing towels because many goalkeepers usually keep their tips about the opposing players inside of their towels. It's like a cheat sheet, which is legal. Regardless of the reason, Morocco doing all this just to lose? That's embarrassing. Now I'm adding this part in for my YouTube watchers because this is actually much worse for Morocco than it may seem. Because the thing is, they're slated to host the 2030 World Cup. They're co-hosting with Spain and Portugal. And why they're slated to co-host the 2030 World Cup is because they spent billions of dollars on their infrastructure, billions of dollars to build this stadium. Why might they do that, you ask? Because when you host the World Cup, you get a lot of cash, especially because of the tourism. Millions of the world's richest people come to your country to watch the World Cup. They spend a lot of money. They say, wow, this country is beautiful. They decide to come back, spend more money. Your country instantly gains a bunch of cash like forever. This is why in the 2026 World Cup that's happening in the Americas, so many different places want to host their own section of the World Cup because they all want that piece of tourism. That's why you got World Cup matches happening in like Nashville, and they're all not being headed in like the big cities. Everybody wants a piece. But them trying to steal opposing players' towels send a message to the world how horrible they are at hosting tournaments. Because I forgot to mention, but Morocco was the one hosting the final. So Senegal and Morocco were playing in Morocco. That's why you got these Moroccan ball boys, the Moroccan security officials trying to take towels because they're in Morocco's house. Because what people figured, I mean, it's not a hard leap to make, is that these Moroccan ball boys are not just doing this on their own. They must be backed by somebody on top because they had no fear in tackling opposing players, dragging them off the field. They must know that they're protected. So people are worried that Morocco's gonna show their ass again when other teams try to play in the World Cup. Like they lost something greater than just losing an African Cup final. It's called the AFCON final, by the way. I'm just saying African Cup for the folks watching in America who don't know what AFCON is. Anyway, they lost something greater, which is people's trust, because they've shown that they'll do anything it takes to win, even these little petty things. And the crazy part of it to me is Morocco's got a really good team. Like this petty little maneuver, bro, the amount that you can gain for what you're gonna lose, think about if that's worth it. And what I mean by that is you taking a towel to get a slight edge on the goalkeeper's hands being wet or dry is one thing, but you don't seem to be weighing the overall consequences of stealing opposing people's towels. How much of an edge is that towel really gonna give you versus the fact that now nobody in the world trusts you to host a World Cup? You spend billions of dollars on everything because you're trying to take towels. It's not worth it. Just play the game. Try to win the game. You're not gaining that much from the towels. You understand what I'm saying? At the end of it all, the head of FIFA scolded both Senegal and Morocco. Senegal for walking off the field when they kept getting screwed on penalties, and Morocco for the towel incident. He said it was pretty much a disgrace. People were then asking for more repercussions for Morocco from FIFA, but FIFA just kept its mouth closed. Morocco is set to co-host the World Cup in 2030. I'm sure FIFA doesn't want the situation to get any worse than it is. They just want to stay quiet, let everybody forget about it, and Morocco hosts 2030. And I think most people are okay with the whole thing blowing over because at the end of the day, again, Morocco still lost.